Hi, I'm here today to talk about a tour that we took with Collette Vacations, to talk about the company Collette in general. If you're planning on taking a trip worldwide, they go to various areas, I would highly recommend that you look for another tour company. I will describe in detail what occurred to us. Three of us went on the tour to Scandinavia, which was a 2-week tour. They billed it as a spectacular, which included supposedly a hydrofoil going initially from Finland to Estonia. Well, that never occurred. Instead, they switched it up to a regular ferry. It took us an extra hour to get across and back. We only spent, when we got to Tallinn, about an hour and 5 minutes to walk around. We took an early ferry to get back because they didn't want to get back late, but that's neither here nor there. As far as the hotels, first off, let me just tell you that this vacation ran us about $15,000 for three of us, which in my book is a pretty decent amount of money for this type of vacation. There's other tour companies that you may want to look at instead of them. The first hotel that we were very disappointed in was called the First Hotel Amarantin, which was in Stockholm. My family and I, when we went out of our rooms, and I will have links here to pictures, we found beer bottles and beer cans littered in the hallways. The rooms were on the musty side. There was a bunch of people that complained. When I went down to the front desk of this particular hotel and told them about the situation, that there were beer bottles outside their elevator on the floor that we were staying at, 24 hours later, those same beer bottles and cans were still littered around the rooms. They did nothing about it. I even mentioned it to the tour company, but obviously it's not their job to pick up after guests in the hotel. Then we stayed at a hotel that I can't remember the name that they put us in that was in Lyon and Norway, and we're in the room, and we wake up in the morning ready to leave, and then the guest who was staying above us, I guess, must have taken a shower because I found water about an inch worth on the floor, and I have pictures of that too. The water was coming through the ceiling. The carpeting that was in the hotel was disgusting. It was water stained and looked like it needed a big replacement. When I mentioned it to the front desk, the gentleman that was working there shook his head. He said, yeah, we told it to management, but apparently they didn't do anything about it. So this was a second hotel that we stayed on this particular trip. Then we went to the Radisson in Oslo, not in Oslo, in Bergen, excuse me. And of course some of us had air-conditioned rooms, other of us were put into rooms which had no air conditioning. It was about 80-something degrees outside this particular 2 days that we stayed there. We were in a front-facing room, and about 2 floors below us, right outside the front entrance, there were people mulling about, laughing and yelling till about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. When I went down to the Radisson, which had a big sign posted saying that, the accommodations are at their utmost, and told them about the problem, they said, well, there's nothing they could do because that was public property outside. I did tell the tour company, I guess unfortunately a little too late, but I would have expected the Radisson to change our rooms. The tour guide was very sweet that we had, and very nice. Was not from the area of Scandinavia, was from the US, which, that's neither here nor there. But there were local tour guides in every stop that we were making, and basically we had to tip each one of them. We had to tip the bus driver because he was with us for a week, and they made it known that this is how much they get, etc., which I personally thought it was a little on the tacky side. As far as Collette is concerned, I would avoid them at all costs. I contacted the company when I got back to the States, and this was going about 12 days ago, and I told them what had occurred, and I told them that I would expect some sort of reimbursement of some sort, small scale. I wasn't looking for, a big payday or anything, but I did expect something. I mean, the fact that they didn't do the hydrofoil, we did pay for that, and 12 days later, I still didn't hear from them, so I called them up, I guess in a sort of a threatening manner, but obviously told them I was going to put this video up on YouTube so you people know, if you decide to take a vacation with Collette, what you're in for. In my opinion, the company basically looks to cut corners. There were 3 meals. They were all buffet meals if you like that type of thing. The meals themselves, most of them were group meals, meaning that, you know, there was one particular meal for everybody. I mean, I did have to open my mouth up, and they did switch it when I did, in all fairness to them. But, you know, I would have liked at least 2 choices as opposed to, you know, 1 choice. Everybody has to eat salmon, for instance. As far as the company goes, they didn't get back to me until today. And I basically told them that I was going to post everything and leave it up. I'm going to leave this video up on YouTube. If the company decides to get in touch with me and rectify the situation, I will take this video down. But until that time, I will leave it up for anybody who's thinking of going with Collette. I would book with Globus, I would book with Trafalgar, I would book with Talc, or whatever the name of the company is. I would think of going with a different place. Make sure you find out if the tour guide is basically local to that region. I would find out what kind of meals they have, what they're going to offer. Do you have choices? The level of the hotels is very important. Make sure that you're very clear on that. And make sure you get a very clear understanding on the itinerary. I felt that Collette lied in some cases. As far as I'm concerned, I contacted a company called Affordable Vacations, which is basically, if you Google Scandinavia, whatever, it's one of the links that comes up. Every company was represented except for Collette, and when I asked them about Collette, and again, I don't know what their situation was with Collette, but they basically said, we don't deal with them anymore, and we can't talk about it. So obviously there are other people that have had some problems with Collette Vacations. In my opinion, you can do better elsewhere, especially if you're looking to spend $5,000 to $6,000 a person. I think there should be a classier company. And basically when the person, the customer rep, called me back finally after 12 days, and they didn't even email me, no contact whatsoever for 12 days. She said to me, well, you know, we're really not going to do anything about it. We'll take down your concerns and we'll notate it, but that's about all we're going to do. They were very cocky about it, and they said something about me threatening them. Yeah, well, I guess, you know, I called up and I told them what I was planning on doing. So if you want to consider that a threat, yeah, I figured I'd give them a chance. I told them how I felt about the tour, and I thought they would do something about it. But apparently they didn't. So once they get your money, that's really going to be it as far as Collette Vacations. I found them to be a horrible company. I would avoid them at all costs. My email to get in contact with me is linked below. If you have any further questions, concerns, if you decide to go with them, you know, get in contact with me further. Obviously, you know, they're not going to reimburse me anything. And, you know, this video hopefully will hurt them in their pocketbook, which is what I'm trying to do at this point. Because I think people should know what they're in for if they're going to book with Collette. Thank you for listening.